Welcome! E aí, galera, beleza? Bem-vindo à nossa comunidade.
Welcome to our community.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC. Today we have a super special video. Today we are going to wake up our Category 4 troops. That looks like our Shroom Lords, our Ninjas, our Cavalry or Templars, our Dwarf Mechanics. We're going to wake up so many army types. Also, we're going to take a quick peek at all of the human troops out there and the buffs that they're going to get specifically. So let's jump right in. The first one that we have is for the human swordsman. So this is under one of the first four researches for the human swords. And yesterday I mentioned that if a human sword is resurrected, they'll have plus 30% HP and 30% more attack. That's wrong. So again, all of this stuff is, I'm just getting the information. I'm just getting the translated information as well. So I'm going from Chinese to translating into English to now getting the English, and everything's also on the test realm. So please take this as this is what might come down the line. It is not 100% certain until it's in our server. Until then, things can change. As of right now, the latest information I have is human swords will get Undying Will, which increases the damage and health by 50% after being resurrected. Absolutely massive. I'm looking forward to seeing more swords in PvP. Next, we have the archers. Under composite bow, archers attack range plus 7. Okay, that's standard. Nothing too wild or crazy there. The first attack is guaranteed to hit. So there's no accuracy bonus. There's no like plus 20% accuracy, plus 100% accuracy. No, their first attack is going to hit. This will be awesome to do against huntresses and or gladiator heroes. After that, every 10 seconds, they're guaranteed to hit again. This is huge, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I hate missing the huntresses with all their evade and wildness, and the snakeskin armor or whatever it is, the one that looks like Warmogs ripped off from League of Legends that goes on gladiators. This will be so nice to cut through everything. I am looking forward to this on my Zen human archers. But wait, there's more. Human swords at silver level will now not lose their moral. So Warrior's Pride, they're immune to moral collapse. This will make humans able to siege really impossible looking sieges without having to worry about losing gold swords. If you've ever used humans and you've tried sieging without the gold swords and you run with the silver, it's tough. You're better off running silver spears. But now that's all changed because Warrior's Pride is now on the silver swords. Huge, huge. I'm excited to use it in Siege at least. But wait, there's more. We have Crusader Resurrection. So at level 1, Virion offers up a prayer. And it immediately revives up to 15 friendly swordsmen. Every 20 seconds, Virion will revive up to 1 friendly swordsman. Units that have fled from the battlefield cannot be revived. Now remember, silver and gold swords will not retreat from the battlefield. At level 2, same deal, but Virion increases how many he can res up to 20, and every 20 seconds he summons or he revives up to 2 swordsmen. So when you have this maxed out at level 6, which Virion needs level 45 to get, that means that Virion will be able to resurrect 40 swordsmen with the active skill, and every 20 seconds he will revive up to 6 swordsmen. That's awesome, guys. It's a nice little passive, offer a little bit more tankiness for the humans overall. Still going to be tough to keep Virion alive as a human player just because you have to invest so many points into Swordsman Mastery, Crusader Resurrection, and then the Moral Shield. So this should be pretty cool. But now let's jump into some Awakened troops. To kick things off, we'll look at the Zen Necromancers. So if I call these mummies, please forgive me. They're mummies. And the Zen mummies, they have a thing where they heal nearby undead units every 12 seconds and grant them 30% damage mitigation for 5 seconds. What? That's amazing. So if you are running a undead army, this could be absolutely massive. It kind of reminds me of the Crusader Shield from Virion for humans, where they get like 40 to 45% reduced damage when they have a moral boost. Right here, every 12 seconds for 5 seconds, nearby undead will have damage mitigation. That is a game changer. So if you are a lich going up against humans, it would be very, very worth it in my unbiased opinion to run with skeletons for frontline and then have it backed up by mummies. The mummies will not only screw over the swordsmen for the humans by making it so that Virion can't resurrect them. And remember, troops can only be resurrected once per battle. So if just for example, if a mummy resurrects a swordsman and they come back as a lich skeleton, they can't then be revived again by Varian. That when they die, they're no longer a dead swordsman; they're a dead skeleton. A dead swordsman could be resurrected over and over, but once a lich resurrects them, they come back as a skeleton. When they die, they're a skeleton. They're no longer a human swordsman. So this is looking very promising if somebody is running an undead composition. Now, the dire mummies have increased resurrection success rate by 5% and empowers resurrected units with 50% bonus damage and a shield equivalent to the dire mummy's health for 10 seconds. So if you are sieging, or if you're just resurrecting things in general, this is going to make those little resurrected units that much more powerful. This could be absolutely huge. Super annoying, especially if you're resurrecting things deep within the enemy lines. Between these two, I think if I was running scorpions on the front line, I'd go with the dire mummies. If I was running with skeletons on the front line, I would go with the Zen. If you're sieging, you'll probably also want to go with the Zen because if you're sieging, you're going to be using skeletons in the front line. Both are pretty cool. But now let's jump into the Rockins. So we have the Zen Shadows, or I'm going to end up calling them Zen Ninjas. And I do apologize about that, guys. I can't learn this new terminology. They're ninjas. Like, look at them. They have the ninja claws and ninja outfit. They're ninjas. So these guys have certain death. So shurikens deal 300% damage to enemies below 20% health. Now, I know you guys have seen me struggle against Balrog in the past. This might actually be able to help take him down. Probably not. Pretty much, if you can get the burst off as Rockin, get the enemy's health down real low, the ninjas should be able to finish them off with 300% increased damage to the enemies. That's pretty huge. So that is definitely something to keep your eye on. But if we look at the dire ninjas, their shadows and their mirror images, so both the ninja and the mirror images that they put out, drop a smoke screen upon death. Under the smoke, allies have 15% increased evade chance, and enemies have 15% reduced accuracy, and it lasts for 5 seconds. So if you pop the L on the ninjas, all those little ninja guys go running out. As they die off, if they die off, they'll leave behind little clusters of clouds that will pretty much offer a lot of defense for your side. If you gain 15% evade and the enemy loses 15% accuracy, at least for their melee troops that will be in that range, that's a big discrepancy. That's almost 30% right there. Pretty cool overall. I don't know which one I'd go with, to be honest, between these two. I'd have to see how the dire ones performed. Otherwise, I'm kind of leaning towards Zen if I'm looking straight up at stats. Speaking of Zen, we have the Zen Shroom Lords. So the Zen Shroom Lords, oh my god, these are going to change Sylph altogether. So they have guided evolution. It reduces the number of attacks needed to grow by 1. So normally it's every 8 attacks the Shroom Lords go through a growth and they become stronger. What this is going to do is it only requires 7 attacks. And remember, Shroom Lords recently got a buff through one of the previous patches that every time they go through a growth, they gain 10% faster attack speed. So the Zen Shroom Lords are going to snowball. Anyways, let's see what happens when that snowball concludes. Excluding when on garrison duty. Increase the final growth state's critical chance, accuracy, and attack speed by 30%. This is a no-brainer. Increase their critical hit, their accuracy, and attack speed by 30% once they're at their final growth. If you have Zen Shroom Lords on the battlefield and they make it to final growth form, even though they do AoE damage, they're going to shred through so much stuff, guys. These are, I think these are going to be extremely powerful. We could see people running both archers and Shroom Lords as Sylph now. Or we might see some changes with the Sylph meta. But it reduces the number of attacks needed to grow by 1, excluding when on garrison. So the only drawback is they aren't going to be quite as good on garrison duty. But that's why we have Dire Shroom Lords. So Dire Shroom Lords have something called a Spore Cloud. So attacks have an 8% chance to release a spore. Each time Shroom Lords release each Shroom Lord can release at most 2 spores. When a spore explodes, it grants a shield with health of a Shroom Lord to a nearby ally, and it lasts for 12 seconds. So pretty much the Shroom Lords have a chance of, they have little dudes that run out from underneath them. They're really cute looking. They run out, they run up to enemies, and they blow up. They're like little mini Zerglings running out there. Now they'll run up, and there's going to be more of them, because remember, the Shroom Lords gain attack speed every time that they go through a growth. And after they blow up, they're going to give, say, Huntresses a shield. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but if I can get a shield on my Huntresses, I will do it. So now, we're going to jump into the humans for a second. And we're going to take a peek at the human Zen Cavalry. All I can say is wow and game changing. So I think out of everything, the Zen Templars, out of all the ones we just went through, except for maybe the Zen Shroom Lords, I think are the best, or on par with the Zen Templars. If you put the two together in your same army composition through borrowing, maybe that's the best. But anyways, the Zen Templars have something called Spurred On. And it increases the damage of ranged allies along the charge path by 50% for 20 seconds. I don't know if this works with heroes. If this works with heroes, your Jax, Mako, Sprig, etc., Fire Mage, Avril, etc., will gain 50% damage for 20 seconds. That's a no-brainer. Every human player is going to have to include Zen Templars. And if you aren't human, you might want to consider borrowing Templars. I never thought I would say that, but this is absolutely massive. 50% increased damage. You get that on with a pack of Zen Archers with the Warhorn boost right at the start of a battle. You're talking significant damage coming out. And don't forget that the Zen Archers will also have that first shot 100% accuracy. Like, they're not going to miss that first shot. So this unit right here, depending on if it affects heroes, even if it doesn't affect heroes, massive chakra awakening. The next one that we have is the Dire Templars. So the Dire Templars have Unstoppable. For the first 20 seconds of the battle, or after being resurrected, increase the charge damage by 30% and grants immunity to crowd control abilities. So this means that these Templars will go out into the battlefield. Their charge might actually deal damage now. It seems like as the troop levels have gone up, Templars charge really doesn't do anything. Now with the Dire Templars, they might actually be able to do a little bit of damage. It's still not going to be anything wild, but they'll do a little bit. The big takeaway from the Dire Templars that I like is that they're immune to crowd control abilities. That means root from archers and or trees and or Gan. That means black hole from Cleo. That's anything to do with Avril. Being immune to crowd control abilities, that that is such a powerful little thing that somebody could have. It will allow the Templars to actually hit with their charge and not just get CC'd down by black holes. This is massive for Templars. The only thing is the Zen ones are better. So the Dire ones are really good in my opinion. I really do want to play around with the Dire Templars. I think if you overload one side with the Dire Templars, after they crash and crash and crash, and then can run behind the enemy without any crowd control slowing them down. That includes Bane's Provoke, by the way. So the Dire Templars are really good. I think that the Zen ones are just better with that increased damage by 50% to nearby ranged allies. So let me know in the comment section below which one you'd prefer, the Dire Templars or the Zen Templars. I'm going with the Zen Templars, but the Dire ones look pretty awesome. Now for this next one, the Mechs, I do not actually have the screenshots. So little do you guys know, during the daytime, I actually work as a graphic designer. So what I did was I designed the graphics for the new Mech Awakening. So it looks a little something like this. So I'm not sure because this is through the translated version. I don't have the 100% PTR version for the Mechs, and this is way cooler looking than anything we'll find there. Is one of the Mechs, I don't know if it's Zen or Dire, will have every 2 seconds the Mech will stun nearby enemies for a short time. Enemies will suffer from 40% more damage from the Mech that caused the damage for 3 seconds. So every couple of seconds, the Mech is actually going to stun enemies, and then they're going to do more damage to those stunned enemies. Pretty good all around. Mechs already kind of cut right through humans, so this is huge. The sun is just nice for additional CC to slow down things. I could see this affecting many different types of units that are stunnable. But the one that I think is going to be a bigger deal is the second version of Mechs. Again, I don't know if this is Zen or Dire, because it is so massive for damage reduction that Mechs are already unbelievably hard to kill. They already are. They're going to be this much more. So the next option for Mechs is 10% more damage reduction from ranged troops. So right off the bat, a passive portion that just reduces damage from ranged troops by an additional 10%. Then they're going to have an active skill. I don't know if this is the overload skill or if it's a new one, but it will provide a shield with 75% range damage reduction to humanoid troops behind the Mechs for 15 seconds. So pretty much the second option for Mechs is going to offer the Mech itself more damage reduction, and it's going to offer a shield that reduces damage from humanoid troops by 75%. This might be enough to keep the Dwarf Blasters and/or Snipers alive. This should be enough to make these Mechs even more unkillable for most troops, especially humanoid. So that looks like rockin' Sylph Archers, if people are running with Sylph Archers, anything to do with humans naturally. It's very strong. It also includes Dwarf Snipers and/or Blasters. So anyways, guys, that is a ton of information. That's all I know as of today about the new Awakened troops coming out. Don't know when they'll be here. I'd give it 2-3 weeks or so. It's just coming out on the PTR realm, so we'll hear some official news maybe by next week with a patch update time. As always, I'll keep you posted. So if you want to be one of the first to find out when it's coming out, stay tuned to this channel. Make sure that you subscribe and like to it, and I'll check in with you guys soon. Have a great day, guys.